try to hang with his old pal, the playmaker. And after a wild loss in Las Vegas, Lamar Jackson looks to conquer his KC kryptonite and avoid an 0-2 start. But first, he's heading to Warner's Corner. Uh-oh. And speaking of the Raiders, their superstar tight end Darren Waller sits down with our old pal Rod Woodson in the latest installment of NFL Generations.
Your mindset is what makes you different.
All that and more on NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
We'll be watching, Rich. A lot of great stuff there. Thanks for watching Good Morning Football. I'm Will Selva with the news. And as we've seen, Bucs tight end Rob Gronkowski has been definitely a premier tight end over the years, and he proved he still has it. 90 yards receiving plus 2 tutties in that Week 1 win over the Cowboys. And now he's going to be up against potentially the future at the position, Atlanta's Kyle Pitts, who had 4 catches for 31 yards in his NFL debut last week. Be a fun one to watch for sure. Gronk showed he isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but he's looking certainly forward to seeing Pitts play in person.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've been hearing a lot about him since he was coming out for the draft. But he's just a athletic freak. I mean, he for sure is. I mean, I've seen some highlights of him, and he can play. And it's just unbelievable, his build, his speed, his size, his route running, capabilities that he has is just second to none. So it's going to be a fun ride to watch him play ball, throughout the years.
Well, September is Hunger Action Month, and earlier this week, the Jaguars Foundation teamed with Feeding Northeast Florida to distribute food to more than 150 families in the Jacksonville area. Jaguars alumni Kevin Hardy and Kyle Brady joining volunteers to help hand out produce, meat, and dry goods to families. We've all been fans of the Hard Knocks series during training camp, but now we'll get a full season version. Get this, the NFL announcing for the first time ever, Hard Knocks will do a multi-episode in-season edition featuring the Colts. The series will premiere November 1st on HBO and streaming on HBO Max. I'm here for a full season of Hard Knocks. Of course, we learned a lot from this past season with the Cowboys, that Dak has a fear of mascots, what Zeke does with the baby powder K. And then, of course, there's Trayvon Diggs' son, who is a massive fan of Patrick Mahomes. Obsessed, you might say.
I think he might be a fan of Dak Prescott. He just thinks Dak Prescott is Patrick Mahomes. So there is that whole thing. Wow, I do wish this was a last year thing, or at least it started last year with Phillip Rivers when he was there. I would have loved to see him on an in-season Hard Knocks. But nonetheless, this will be great. Our friends at HBO, get that drone shot ready. At GMFB with your tweets. I want to talk about the Cowboys, who are featured on Hard Knocks, as you just talked about. They're on the road. This week, they're going to SoFi. I love the fact that I think that the Chargers fans are going to get a show out there in Los Angeles. They're going to be without maybe their best defender, the Cowboys, in DeMarcus Lawrence. Jane Slater is here with more.
Mike McCarthy sat there and said it looks like he's going to miss a significant amount of playing time. I was told by one source 6 to 8 weeks, but that's sounding a little optimistic at this point. So I know Cowboy fans then want to know who's up next. Well, with him on the left side, initially, keep in mind, you had Randy Gregory out this week because he's dealing with a COVID protocol. He's got to get those 2 negative tests within 24 hours ahead of Sunday. I don't know if we're going to make that. So the original plan was to have Dorrance Armstrong fill in for Randy Gregory. We'll likely see Dorrance Armstrong move over to the left side, Terrell Basham then in for Randy Gregory, and then you've got guys like Bradley Anai and Chauncey Golston as your backups. We've been talking a lot about the rookie Micah Parsons. Now, he has played defensive end before. I was told by at least one person it would be at least exploring this week if that's something that you could utilize as part of his skill set in passing situations with the Chargers. So we'll see how that fleshes out. This was a pass rush that, with Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence in there, failed to log a sack against the Tampa Bay Bucks. So we'll see how they do against Justin Herbert and the Chargers on Sunday.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jane. The Cowboys put up a good fight last week against the reigning Super Bowl champs. What an exciting way to kick off 2021. This week, they are looking to get in that win column. Shrakes, how do the Cowboys avoid an 0-2 start?
A couple things. I feel like their offense is such high-flying stuff last week that they'll carry that over. I also think there's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans in that building. I hate to say it. I know everyone wants to promote the SoFi. Cowboys fans travel. Chargers fans, we're still looking to identify if there's going to be a huge stadium's worth of them. The DeMarcus Lawrence thing is huge for me. And I don't know who Dorrance Armstrong is. He's been in the league for quite a bit. He's out of Kansas, and he's going to be playing that role. And Randy Gregory's... They couldn't get any pass rush with DeMarcus Lawrence last week. Now you're going up against Lindsley, Slater, Bulaga. I think Justin Herbert could pick this defense apart. We saw Tom Brady do it last week. I think they have an even better offensive line than Tampa does, and I think Herbert is going to have a day. I honestly, Kay, I'm with you. I think Justin Herbert is going to shine, and he's going to be a national audience. And Jerry Jones might be out there, and I know he's on our show the game day morning on Sunday, and he's going to make us drop by the studio, and that's great. I just don't see this defense.
We're already talking about this. Week 2, Cowboys defense.
Honestly, we're here again.
We're supposed to be the whole season. The defense is better now. It's frustrating.
The thing that the Cowboys have to do, and a lot of teams are facing this problem, right? What's going to be our identity? Like, we can go over the injury report, but you can only dress so many guys.
Go on.
And you need to go with the dudes you have. And where they have explosive players is on the offensive side. That defense, y'all can talk about them all day. They're going to give up 27 to 30 points every game. And I've been on teams like that, where most of the talent, based on injuries and everything else, was on the offense.
Right.
People like to talk about the 98 Vikings, explosive. The most explosive offense in the 80s and the 90s, averaged 34 points a game. But we knew we weren't going to stop anyone. The 98 season ended. People remember, we lost 2 games. Went 15-1, and then lost to the Falcons for going to the Super Bowl. Only 2 times we didn't score 30 points. It was only 2 times we lost. So they have the wide receivers. They have the quarterback. Spread the field. Become a 3-receiver offense. Yeah, I know Michael Gallup's injured right now, but he's going to come back. And they do have guys that they can play outside. With the talent that they have, with Amari and CD, you have to spread the field. Short passing, because that eats up the clock. And I got news for that offensive line. This is not a dominant offensive line. They are more finesse than they are dominant. If you take the people out of the box, it makes it easier for Zeke to find some creases. So for me, my identity, if I don't want to be 0-2, is I need to be a 3-receiver offense, spread the field, and let Dak throw that thing 45 times a game.
See, look, your Vikings teams, if you look at all the highlights, it's you and it's Moss, and that's great. If you watch the games, there's a lot of Robert Smith, man. Robert Smith, that was the motor for a lot of you guys. Where's Zeke? Where is he? Because if you remember back to the opener, Cowboys-Bucks, they basically just said, we're not going to run. We're going to screw it. The Bucks are too good, and even though we have the second highest paid running back in the entire NFL, we're going to kind of just concede that one to you. Can't do that this week. The defense is down more. You're playing a Chargers defense that is not nearly as good against the run as these guys. Zeke, help us. SOS. Save our season. Please do something. And everyone on Dallas coaches that. Give him faith to do something, because the guy upstairs is giving him all the money. Give him some carries, and for the love of God, Zeke, if you're ever going to show up, or are you done? This is the weekend to do it. My gosh.
It'll be a show at SoFi. Dak and Herbert have combined to average 87 pass attempts per game over the last 2 seasons. A lot of throwing, hopefully to a 3-wide receiver situation. Out there.
Super Bowl,
let it fly.
More Good Morning Football on the way. Coming up, more highlights.
Hey, bro,
cringing.
your arm is
Last
suspect.
night's NFC East